Hello, everyone. What is functional medicine and how you can find your path to wellness? That's our topic today. We're glad to be here with you. Thank you all for joining us. We look forward to getting into this important topic. Functional medicine is becoming a popular hot topic right now. So we want to clarify what that is and how you can know which way to go in regard to how to find a professional that can help guide you to your path to personalized wellness. My name is Jason Steves. I'm a nutrition professional at the Nutrition and Health Center. I'm joined by my co-host Steve Steves, who is a certified clinical nutritionist and naturopath. And we are bringing you health information with Prosper Nutrition and the Nutrition and Health Center. We're committed to helping you achieve abundant health. That's why we're here. We're a family operated business here in the Houston area. And we look forward to connecting with you more and more as time goes on these important topics. But functional medicine, it's a hot topic.
It is.
It's becoming more and more, I guess, searched online.
Because of the
MAGA. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Make America Healthy Again.
Oh, yeah.
Focus. They said that there's 9 times more searches for functional medicine online than there was prior to this administration. So the exposing of the whole drug control industry, the Western medical model that has not been working, is the reason that functional medicine came about. What's interesting is in the history of it, Dr. Roger Williams wrote a book on biochemical individuality. So this is where we focus as a company. We bring people in and test them to their specific needs. And we have so many body systems that we can look at.
Yeah.
And we want to look at the vast amount that we can, but a lot of functional medicine shingle hangers today are not really doing the full spectrum of how to identify biochemical individuality. We get into a little bit of that.
Right. Well, yeah, and I think you bring that up because it's kind of like that's where it kind of came from. It was stemming from. But let's help you understand what is functional medicine. So we're going to dive into that, kind of defining it. There are different perspectives and different definitions of functional medicine. And we're going to give you more of a simple understanding after we read you an article here. So let me pull up this article.
Hey, before you go there.
Yeah.
And so Roger Williams, being a founder many years ago, Dr. Jeffrey Bland started to look at those concepts. And so he started the Functional Medicine Institute in 1991. I was able to sit at a dinner table with Dr. Bland in 1992 after he had kicked off many of his medical food objectives, specific formulas that were developed by him and HealthCom and his other companies he was working with to help restore function. And that's always been the premise of how we are designed. We were designed to be healthy abundantly. 3 John 2 says that, beloved, above all things, you wish you would prosper and be in health. And so healing happens, function can be restored, no matter how old you are, no matter how long you've had a problem. I remember a guy that used to come in that had a shoulder immobility since high school, and he was in his mid-40s. And with the right functional movement and functional medicine, so with functional movement, that's a whole separate topic. We should follow up with that functional movement. But the functional medicine, this guy was to able to get complete restoration in that shoulder that had been immobilized for about 30 years, just under 30 years. So healing happens when you said it this morning, when you make the changes necessary to move in that path, and it's not often easy to make those changes.
So functional medicine, what is it? There is an article here that we wanted to share with you that kind of gets into it. It compares to things that are functional, we're going to get into that. What does functional mean? But functional medicine, essentially, they talk about here is a holistic school of thought about healthcare that focuses on finding and addressing addressing the root cause of an ailment rather than just treating symptoms.
So let's stop right there. That's a powerful statement. And root causes can be effects of heavy metals, environmental pollutants, lifestyle decisions of hydration, stress management, sleep. Identifying where in your body something's out of balance. It's out of homeostasis. What can we do to fuel that balance? Even in endocrine hormone production, a lot of women in menopause think, oh my gosh, I have to take hormones. It's a dangerous road to get down because your body can produce these hormones even if you've had your ovaries removed. The adrenal glands make the same hormones. And so there's some backup support that you can give them to help those hormones in their production. And that topic of hormones should be addressed on its own, but it's just one of many facets of functional medicine. We need to understand hormone function. We need to understand neurotransmitter function and how that's affected by your lifestyle, what you're living. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this article, the title of this article is "What is Functional Medicine and Should You Ever Try It?" It was authored 3 months ago, and it's on MSN.com. We saw it on. I found it on a computer, regular Dell computer that I use. That the news thing is on the right. It kind of pops up, and so I thought it'd be useful for us to address because it was brought up recently there. So. Practitioners put a strong focus on acknowledging that each patient is unique and that all the organ systems work together to help you function optimally. And they believe strongly that non-medical factors like lifestyle habits, diet, environment, and other social factors are integral in overall health. So
in that regard, remember we were talking about there's certain functional medicine doctors that we know that do colon fecal tests to measure the microbes in the fecal material to determine, do they have an imbalance of good and bad bacteria? Yes, they do. So there's a different approach. I rarely have done those fecal tests. I have access to them, and in severe conditions, we can deal with that. But you can see simply when you look on a blood test, if you are a good functional practitioner, when you look at a CBC with differential and you see your eosinophils are high, there's a high probability you probably got bacterial overgrowth of bad bacteria going on that's influencing your immune system. So it would just be wise to take upon a digestive approach. And we have an article on digestion, and it gives you the full facets of that particular functional medicine aspect. How do I restore digestion? You're certainly welcome to message us if you would like that article on how to restore digestion. That's just one important aspect that affects all other body systems, like that last part of that definition that Jason was just reading. So digestion is a must. It's a foundational for everything, and we've got to keep it in order on a daily basis. So what you put in there is certainly going to affect the outcome of everything within your body.
Right. So this sentence that we just read, it talks about it's a focus on acknowledging things like that are going to be, what do they call it? Causing, right? Non-medical factors. Where is it? Addressing root cause of ailments, right? See, that's the thing. Another thing that's very important to understand when we're dealing with health is what is the cause? And if you read further in this sentence, this is an important paragraph right here in these sentences. You read further in the next sentence, we look at, and it talks about the fact that they are lifestyle. Lifestyle is one of the biggest factors. They say that they believe strongly that non-medical factors like lifestyle habits is one on the list. Now, diet is a lifestyle habit. Yep. They list diet separately. And so lifestyle is key in this, in understanding how to take care of your health. But so the question is, I mean, you can look up the concept of lifestyle medicine on Google, and they say it's a medical specialty focused on using healthy lifestyle behaviors to prevent, treat, and reverse chronic diseases. That's what the definition says. We are not medical doctors. We do not diagnose or treat disease. Why don't we do that? And let's make a simple answer to that question. Why do we not diagnose or treat disease? Well, one, we're not trained to do that. We're not medical professionals trained to do that. But two, we would actually prefer not to do that because why?
Well, I think disease is a negative connotation where you are just not at ease. And when you're in a not at ease state, that's where God's trying to get your attention because something in your lifestyle needs to change. You can hear that I sound a little nasal today. I did something in my lifestyle that I overdid on Tuesday, and I was working outside for 7 hours. It's interesting how the Holy Spirit in us will give us gentle nudges to try to change or to do something in a situation. And I remember I did all that work in the morning and it was at lunchtime. I'm getting some nourishment. And I know I heard in my spirit that I should probably just take it easy for the afternoon. But instead, I decided to go down to my other property, jump on a tractor and do some clearing of the land and breathing diesel fumes and dust and pollen. And boom, it hit me too hard and set me back with a little sinus infection over the last couple days. So I'm dealing with the consequence of a poor lifestyle decision that I made. So you have to know what your body is capable of. We often push ourselves with caffeine, with not sleeping enough, staying up late, getting up too early, and eating the bread of idleness, the scripture says. It's just a lifestyle choices can make all the difference in the world.
Right.
And we have a lifestyle document.
Yeah.
You certainly can get on our Prosper Nutrition site. It's free if you just give us your email address, prospernutrition.com, and ask for that 7 proven lifestyle factors or 7 proven steps.
Yeah, they're essentially 7 lifestyle principles. You could think of them as that.
Yeah.
We call them health principles, but they're so important. So lifestyle medicine or lifestyle, the next question is lifestyle disease. What are the lifestyle diseases? Because that's something that's really important to understand, because there are the majority of the diseases that are killing people, the majority of the diseases that are killing the majority of people today are lifestyle diseases. The top killers. So what is the number 1 killer? Heart disease. Number 2, cancer. And then number 4 or 5 is diabetes type of issues.
Okay. Well, out of diabetes stems heart disease and cancer.
Right. That's very much connected.
Tied.
Yeah.
So, in fact, you can go back to a condition that they renamed years ago, metabolic syndrome, that identified all these precursor things that are happening that show you're headed to these lifestyle diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Joel Robbins, great guy, he called them chronic degenerative diseases. And Jesus even addressed those diseases in Matthew 24, where he said, in the end times, you'll see many diseases or many pestilences everywhere. Disease this, disease that. I was named with a disease and I thought, what is this? What am I going to have to do about it? I just learned how to change my lifestyle. Never even had the thought of that disease again, except to tell people that I'm not a product of a disease. I'm a product of God's healing power in me that I nourish with proper lifestyle decisions. Try to make those right decisions all the time so I can stay at the full potential.
Well, some people would say, and this is something that's important to understand, is why do they call them lifestyle diseases, and what are the other types of diseases? So they'll also call lifestyle diseases non-communicable diseases. And some people even think that when they talk about pestilences, they think of them as those communicable diseases. Right. But what do we know about people that have lifestyle disease risk factors? when those risk factors are high, when they're dealing with diabetes or heart disease or cancer, what is their propensity? Their
They're
propensity.
all at high risk for getting a communicable disease.
Exactly.
Because they're weaker in
Yes.
those. Yeah.
There is a much higher chance of you getting a communicable disease when you're suffering from lifestyle disease factors.
Well, you know this firsthand. You've been in the missions field and you've seen the kind of diseases that are unusual in third world countries that we don't see here because we have some different lifestyle. We have much more pure water here than that's a big factor. We have more sterile sleeping environments in our homes. Our homes are cleaner than people that sleep out in huts and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So those communicable diseases that are so prevalent in third world countries they can be changed, they can be ratified. So companies go in and they drill water wells, they bring them fresh water. That reverses a ton of disease. And that's just one of our 7 principles of health, getting enough pure water and how much water for each individual. At least half your body weight in ounces every day. And then in the hot weather, much more. I weigh 150 pounds and I get in 3 to 4 quarts a day, a gallon each day to hydrate. Muscle activity and busy outside in the heat.
Yeah.
Hydrate up. So that's just one lifestyle factor. And we're going to share all of those with you to make this a biochemical individuality awareness program, right?
Yeah,
you're gonna see these things for yourself as we talk about them. It's like, I don't drink half my body weight in ounces of water every day.
Yeah.
I should really focus on that. We had one guy lose 35 pounds in 2 months. That's all he did different. Just drink more water.
Yeah. Yeah, it's powerful. Lifestyle changes that we make are powerful to help affect our body to change. And even just small tweaks to your lifestyle can really have a huge difference, especially over time. That's something that we try to encourage people in. And we understand change is challenging, it's difficult, right? But usually the difficulty is really near the beginning. And once you kind of shift over, you get that lifestyle factor implemented, that change implemented that you need, you really start feeling the difference and you can kind of get momentum on that.
You've heard a lot of rules of thumb on this, and I know you've researched it a lot. How long does it take to really change a lifestyle and get it solidified? This is just now when someone sees Steve or Jason, wow, we know that you can see them in the gym, 4 to 7 days a week, just depends on their activity. And how do we know, how do we identify those things?
Like how long it's going to take for them to get better?
Yeah.
And that's because a lot of people are asking that. Yeah.
Where there's permanent change. I met with a young man this morning and we were doing some functional movements. He's got a muscular dystrophy issue and has leg movements that are challenging. And he was doing the functional movements, and there's many of them, and we'll talk about those. That's another thing. And exercise is one of those lifestyle measures, but within exercise, you need to know how to functionally move better. Don't do exercises that cause your dysfunction in your movement. And that's a lot of what is happening in America today, especially in the whole realm of CrossFit and these high intensity exercises that are done inappropriately create dysfunction. And we want it for longevity so we can enjoy playing with our grandkids.
Right. Yeah. The goal in mind is an important thing, but yeah, how long does it take? It's usually what we get into explaining is how often or how long does it take for the body to completely reform certain tissues? Because the body goes through that process of making new cells, new tissues. It does that for our entire body. There's only certain things that our body does not remake, but pretty much everything gets remade over a certain span of time. And I think, isn't it bone that's like the longest? That's something around 9 years or so?
7 to 9 years, yeah.
And so, if let's just say you have a bone, related issue, then you want to completely reform your bones, change your lifestyle, according to healthy lifestyle factors, the healthy lifestyle principles, for 7 to 9 years, and you will have a completely changed body.
That's a great topic, Jason. I had a wisdom tooth removed a few years back, and they took out a good part of bone there where that tooth was. And the doctor who did it was a surgeon. He said, you really should consider getting a bone graft because guys your age, at the time I was 60, they have a tough time regenerating bone. They don't metabolize it well, and you'll probably have a weak area here. Well, 9 months after I was there, went back for a scan, and 75% of the bone had already rebuilt in that area when he saw it. He was shocked. And they even asked, well, did you do bone grafting? This looks amazing. No. Key factors in nutrients. This is functional medicine, right? Biochemical individuality. I knew I needed more nutrients to regenerate bone, and we have a formula called bone repair. So I was copiously taking that in to regenerate the bone tissue.
Yeah.
Saw that with a pastor friend of mine in South Carolina who injured his shoulder. They said it was shattered when he fell on the ice. He's 6'7", so it was quite a fall for him. And they thought they were going to have to surgically rebuild the whole thing. So he puts it in a sling, and he's waiting to make decisions with doctors on what kind of approach he wants to take. So he's taking it slowly and reading and studying. And we're rehabbing the nutrients, getting on bone formula, getting on the right amount of vitamin D and other cofactors, vitamin K2. So he goes back on a follow-up, and they scan his shoulder, and the doctor that he finally went to that he was going to trust, that had the most experience, he looked at it and he said, well, I don't think you need any surgery on this thing. Look here, you're already seeing a reformation of bone tissue in the shoulder. The shoulder had began to repair itself. He's in his 70s. So we've seen all different types. The body repairs, biochemical individuality or functional medicine approach. It works. It's been working for years. It's what's taking over America now because people know the truth. When they see that and experience it, it's just like the first realm of people that were deceived by COVID vaccines. 200 million Americans fell for that deception. They didn't know. We knew about vaccines for years and their risks. But on the follow-up, what they call it, boosters, they're going to give more COVID shots. Half of those 200 million Americans said, no way, not after what that first one did to me. People often have to be injured by the system of foolishness, like I was, before they make decisions to protect and guard.
Right. Well, and here's something that I would say that I've noticed as well is we often, as humans, when there's a problem that we encounter, overreact. We try to do more than we really need to do, rather than what is the Bible says, be still and know that I'm God, like wait on the Lord, like having that patience and kind of waiting for God to provide that direction. And a lot of people, I think, that come to see us, they're doing that in some ways. So that's one of the things I've noticed is like they've either come to the end of the rope where they've tried all the medical approaches to dealing with lifestyle disease and realize it doesn't work. And then they're like, okay, these people are trying to change things with lifestyle. So that's an important thing to think about is preventive. So if you're wanting to set up your life for success and to live a long, healthy life, and you encounter a health challenge, be patient. But if you already are in a difficult health challenge and you're not sure of what's going to happen, or you're really concerned about which direction things are going to go, same thing. Step back, wait on the Lord, be patient, trust that He will guide you into the truth about what you need to do.
I got to share something on that regard. Many times, and you've experienced this with your clients, you get them started and you know they're going to have some reactions, right? You've got a terrible lifestyle and they're about to eat different, they're about to drink different, they're about to sleep different, they're going to take nutrients that really enhance. So you know change is going to happen.
Right.
Within the first few days, their body may give them more symptoms. Symptoms are not your enemy, folks. Symptoms tell you your body's trying to do some repair, trying to restore homeostasis. So I've many times people, and we stay connected with folks through our message center, and that's the benefit of becoming a client at the Nutrition Health Center. You're always in connection with us. You can message us with challenges you have. So they'll have a challenge, and sometimes Spirit of God will say, wait, don't respond. Let them go through it. Let their body, let them wait. Because many times, and I'll just respond, sounds like you're in a healing mode. Be patient, wait for it. That may be all I respond sometimes. So it's that waiting that is so important, because the body will heal if you step back and wait.
Right. So, folks, what is functional medicine? We got a definition from that website. We kind of talked a little bit about this, but it's simply defined. Functional essentially means useful, what we can use. Medicine is, the real definition of medicine is something that heals. The Bible talks about a merry heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. So joy, right?
Attitude. Yeah,
attitude. So functional is useful. Medicine means something that heals. So something that is useful for us to help our bodies to heal.
Amen.
And what we do at the Nutrition and Health Center is help people understand those lifestyle things that they have control over. What we eat, our hydration, exercise and movement, sleep, stress management, supplements that we can put into our life that help our body to repair. And the quality of those supplements is important. Making sure you choose the right quality supplements. We've been working really hard to find great formulas over these 30 years. So making sure you choose the right ones is important, because there's a lot of junk out there. And then the seventh factor is very important as well, faith and family. And a lot of it essentially has to do with our relationships with God and others. And that is so important. We need to make sure that we connect with our Creator and understand what He has us here for, and then also take care of our family relationships, take care of our loved ones.
Let's stop right here for a second. This is such a key point where every day should start for you. Quiet time, reading God's Bible, asking God to speak to you. He wants to. He's a God that came down from heaven to show us His nature in the form of a child. Virgin Mary was impregnated by the Spirit of God. No man was Jesus' father. And so Jesus, living on the earth, shows us who the Father is, who the Creator is, what He wants of us. And when you follow in His footstep, He said, come, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. That means your whole purpose in life is to help people, to love God. And by doing that, you love His creation, you love what He's made, and show Him the glory show that world, the glory of God that works in and through you. Just be patient for it. God will use you in mighty ways.
Right. So, so functional medicine is something that is a term being used today. There's Dr. Jeffrey Bland started the Institute of Functional Medicine. A lot of people consider Dr. Jeffrey Bland the father of functional medicine. We've learned under his work for a long time. You got to hear from him back in the early 90s.
35 years ago. Yeah.
And then another person that is a mentor of ours that's been teaching about functional / integrative medicine, but essentially lifestyle medicine, you could better call it that, is our mentor, Dr. Russell Jaffe. And he does a wonderful job of helping us understand biochemical individuality, how our bodies work and how our bodies respond to our lifestyle choices, what we eat and other things, and then the environment, how our body responds to that as well. And so that's very important.
Along those lines, I just thought, well, what is the approach of certain practitioners who are functional medicine versus others? Well, there's a lot of practitioners that are out there using supplements that are what Dr. Jaffe calls, and it makes sense, they're downstream pharmacological nutrients that the body converts on its own when you get the physiological form.
Mm,
You can look him up on YouTube, and he does short little video snippets. He is so well versed in this topic. I would encourage you to look into that, because I know a lot of you are out there taking methyl forms of B12. You're taking things like lipoic acid. You're taking nutrients that are downstream, like glutathione. Your body produces glutathione, lipoic acid. It produces methyl forms of B12 and folate. And we have tests to validate that. We have genetic tests, and we also have a micronutrient test. And I don't take those nutrients, but I take the physiological forms that feed their downstream molecules. And I have copious amounts of lipoic acid and methyl forms of B12 and all the other natural forms of vitamins and nutrients, because I take the physiological nutrients. And there's a lot to learn in that area. Oh my goodness.
yep.
This is why there's so many confused functional medicine doctors that are out there, because it takes so much study. I mean,
Right.
you've been with us 17 years, Jason, and you have a really good grasp. You've worked with Dr. Jaffe for many years. You worked with functional medicine doctors,
Right.
and you've seen a lot of the pitfalls of their approaches, not giving that
Right.
full biochemical individuality a focus. And
Yeah.
hopefully we can certainly bring it up and talk a lot more about it, because this is what we're about,
Yeah.
that individuality and what it takes to get there for
Right.
abundant health.
Yeah, it would be good to talk more about that. There are a lot of well-meaning practitioners out there who are doing functional medicine, but they're off track. Why is that? Because they are trying to treat lifestyle diseases with chemicals and surgery that don't help the body to repair. And that's really the simple problem, is you cannot expect the body to repair when you start trying to intervene in its natural processes of the repair.
And that's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Don't just take hormones. Take what you need to rebuild the glands that make those hormones. And if you don't know what they are, you better learn.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. If you don't understand the body you live in, you may want to get the owner's manual and start studying
Yeah.
on it, because we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yeah.
There's a lot to know about this body, and that's what we do. We spend time in educating the individual. I know people have come in,
Yeah.
and rich guys go, "Hey man, yeah, you don't have to tell me all this stuff. Just tell me what I need to do." And I'll say, "Listen, I can feed you a fish and you'll be good for the day. But if I can teach you how to fish, you can feed yourself for a lifetime." We want people to understand what they're doing. That way they won't fall away into the next whim that comes along. It makes biochemical individuality, common sense, understandable to you. And that's why we're here.
Yep. So, functional medicine is something that is fine to look into, but make sure you get someone that is actually helping you change your lifestyle and not just trying different ways of treating the disease and managing the disease, because that's just going to, again, you're going to go around in circles
Yeah.
and you're not going to really find healing and repair that your body can get into. So,
The pill management
yeah.
mentality of Americans.
Right. Right. So you can download the 7 Proven Steps guidebook that talks about those 7 health principles, those lifestyle factors that you can change and improve your health. Supplements is a big one. ProsperNutrition.com. We offer high quality, pharmaceutical grade and higher, and it's fully bioavailable nutrients that your body can take in very quickly and utilize. And as well, they're full disclosure labels. So everything that's in the product is on the label, so you don't have to worry about some hidden ingredients. We make sure that the quality of these supplements stays high, because we take them ourselves. We're taking them every single day for our health, for the health of our families. We want to make sure it works, and we want to make sure it works because we recommend it to our clients, and so we've made it available to you over the last few years, and it's starting to get out there more. People are starting to make a shift, starting to make better choices in regard to their supplements. But tell your friends and family, if you are taking the Prosper Nutrition supplements, tell them to switch over and get better quality supplements and feel the difference, because that really makes a difference for a lot of people. So
It's worth the investment.
yeah,
Wait, that's our biggest bill every month, is what we spend on our health.
right,
But you won't see our need fall into critical care or disease management care or infectious care
Yeah.
because our bodies are able to maintain themselves in the wellness approach.
Yeah.
Amy hasn't been to a doctor in 37 years since Michaela was born,
Yeah.
and plan on keeping it that way.
Right. Well, and here's the thing, folks. Doctors, their approach to lifestyle, functional medicine, lifestyle diseases, this is the issue that we're talking about. We're not talking about if you're in a car accident
Right.
and you're cut wide open, you need to be
Yes.
sewn up.
Thank God for emergency
We
medicine.
need doctors to sew us up to take, get us kind of put back together if we're in traumatic accidents. That is important. But when we're talking about lifestyle diseases, lifestyle health and medicine and all of that approach, our bodies need to repair them, need the resources, excuse me. Our body needs the resources to repair itself because that's the way it's designed.
Yeah. Well, just like Pastor Michael, as I mentioned earlier, he fell, he broke his shoulder. Even when you get in a trauma state like that needs emergency care, did he really need emergency care? No, the orthopedic that works with him just has him doing functional movement, and they have him, immobilizing it. Now they're starting to move it like they're supposed to. And so without intervention, he has been able to rehab a trauma that 90% of the time people elect to have surgery. And it takes them longer to come back from surgery than it does to rehab it naturally. And it's crazy, but people don't see it. And when they do, like Pastor Michael, they are free. When the sun sets free indeed, free is free indeed. I pray that you guys have been freed today on some of your concepts and understanding of functional medicine. We look forward to helping you some more next week. And
yeah, we're here on Friday mornings, putting these live videos out for you on health topics. If you have questions, you can come and join us live and ask questions, or you can email us at info@prospernutrition.com. We'd love to answer your questions. We will keep, if you send us questions via email and your name is there, we usually keep your name out of it, or maybe we'll, if you want, we'll say your first name, but usually we'll keep your name out of it and just answer the question generally so that you're not worried about your name getting out there associated with whatever question. That's totally fine. But yeah, we'd love to hear your questions and answer those questions, address common health topics that you're dealing with. And thank y'all for watching. If you want to make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so that when we go live again, you'll be notified when these videos come out. That'll be helpful for you guys to get more of this information. So thank y'all for watching. We are committed to helping you achieve abundant health. We want you to prosper and be in health. So work on implementing lifestyle changes in order to improve your health. Thank y'all for watching. Steve, you have any last words?
May the Lord bless you, and may you're able to glorify him in your body, as it says in 1 Corinthians 6:20. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, y'all. Take care.